Hello and welcome to Martin Maths. We're preparing for our Maths GCSE exams with a Foundation GCSE Paper 1, the non-calculated paper. It says here that 72 people did the test. 20 of the 32 adults who did the test passed. 6 of the children who did the test failed. So we can use that information to fill in the frequency tree. So 72 goes there. Now we've got to interpret this 20 of the 32 adults. So look at that clause there. Literacy and maths, 32 are adults and 20 of those passed. So it's understanding that 20 of the 32 adults of the 72 in total. 6 of the children who did the test failed. So that goes there. So I've used all the pieces of information that they've given us. I've used the 72, I've used the 20, I've used the 6, and I've used the 32. But I can't complete the rest, because each pair must add up to the larger number. So if that's 32, 72 minus 32 is going to be 40. So 40 children. 32 adults took it, 20 passed. So 20 taken away from 32 is going to be 12. And 40 minus 6 for the children is 34. And if I just check my adding there, that should add up to 72. That's 32, that's 40, so that should add up to 72. And that should give us the 3 marks. Okay, it's also a probability question. Find the probability when one of these people is picked at random. Find the probability this person is an adult who failed the test. So an adult who failed the test, adult who failed, there are 12 of them, 12 out of the 72. We don't know any information. Sometimes they might say an adult is chosen, but here we're just taking out of the total. So the probability that it's an adult who failed is 12, excuse me, out of the 72. I'll put that there, 12 out of 72. We could simplify that. We know it could be 6 over 36. It could be 3 over... what's 36 divided by 2? 18. And I should be able to see that that's a multiple of 12, so it should just be 1/6. I could have simplified that, but they didn't ask us to put it in the simplified form, so I think 12 over 72 is fine. 72 is 6 times 12, and I've just gone down through equivalent fractions there. And that's another 2 marks. So a nice 5-mark question there on frequency trees, highlighted there, and probability highlighted there. Okay, let's move on to question 18, which is a recipe question, which is great for ratio. This recipe makes 10 scones. We have 75 grams of butter, 350 grams for self-raising flour, 40 for sugar, 150 mils of milk, and 2 eggs. And they want to make 25. Well, 25 is 10 plus 10 plus 5. So if I double this and then add a half of the original, I should have it. So they're not asking for all of it. They just want how much sugar she needs. So we know 40 grams will give me 10 scones. Another 40 grams would be another 10. And half of that would give me 5. And if I add those up, I get 25. So if I add this up, I get 100 grams. So 100 grams of sugar. There are other ways to do that. I could see that it's 10 times 2.5 to get to, excuse me, 25. But I like this way of just going, well, I use the recipe again, and then I halve it. And I've got 100 grams of sugar there for a nice 2 marks. Okay, one more question for today's video is to increase 240 by 20%. I always like to find what 10% is. I find that by doing 240 divided by 10. They both end in 0, and I can get rid of those zeros. So 10% is 24. And then I'm going to 240 plus 24 plus 24. So that's giving me 8, 8, and 2. So 288. It's a non-calculator paper, so I'm not going to use a multiplier, such as multiplying by 1.2. Just going to find 10% and then either double that or add it again, like I did here. So I could have found that 10% is 24, 20% is 48, and then added that 48 to the 240. But I chose to do it by adding 10% and adding 10%. Okay, another 3 marks. So actually, that's a nice 10-mark question. If we go back to question 17 on frequency trees, probability, ratio, and proportion, and increasing an amount. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Look out for the other videos on the exams playlist, and good luck for your exams.